And we're back talking about a Bitcoin ETF, which seems a little bit silly, guys, because I thought we already had Bitcoin ETFs, right? BitO, ProShares, we've been talking about them on this channel for over a year, guys. So there's only so much time you can dedicate to looking at certain stuff during the day, and you really have to dictate what do you think is important, what do you want to dive into every single day, whether it's crypto or personal interest or anything like that. You're not going to just jump in and look at every single thing, guys. But please drop it in the chat and let me know what's significantly different between this potential upcoming ETF that is like the coming of the Messiah, or the ETFs that currently already exist, like BitO, ProShares. There's several, there's like 4 or 5 that you can trade pretty much on every brokerage in the United States. So I don't know exactly what's so much different about this one. This might just be a story to push on to everybody to see how much interest actually buys crypto at the given moment. Then depending on that, that's maybe the next course of action on how high the prices might pump if there is no action, if there is no interest, if there is no public interest in cryptocurrency at the moment, because there's not a lot of interest in crypto, guys. I mean, I talk to a lot of people every single day, and they are not interested in the slightest bit about cryptocurrency. They're just, I even talk to people that say they've purchased crypto in the past, and for whatever reason, now that the prices are low, nobody seems to talk about it. Nobody seems to give cryptocurrency really the credit that it may once again deserve in the future, which is fine, guys, because if the prices stay down, it gives you a better opportunity to accumulate and spend your cryptocurrency at a later date. Buy now, spend later type deal. And that formula seems to be kind of the way it works, guys. So we are following this Bitcoin ETF on this channel, guys, but I'm not going to do a lot of research into it because, for one, there was already some skepticism around Grayscale. The way that the shares were, lockup periods were, there was just some controversy around it. Some skepticism that the holdings were even there on, not Grayscale, but some other companies that are involved in kind of the same thing of like holding people's crypto. And yes, I do own Grayscale holding trusts that are basically traded on the over-the-counter markets. They're not on, I think the Bitcoin and the Ethereum one is ETCG and BTCG, I think, or the BTCG, I think is what it is, the tickers on those. And I mean, they exist, right? Like, they exist. It's not, it's not that they don't exist, but there was some controversy on just some stuff on the way they were kind of set up. And you got to remember, guys, a lot of these products, these investment instruments, they're kind of created using a lot of programming and mathematical stuff to actually carry out this stuff in the background. So there's a lot of things attached to it, a lot of functions attached to this instrument, and that's essentially what it is, because it follows a spot price and the premiums go up and down on it. So it's really it's really interesting to see. So I guess that's why I'm kind of basically taking some interest in these Grayscale trusts. And they're down right now. They're not up. They were up, but I feel like my crypto overall did better than the overall shares of the Grayscale. If you guys aren't familiar with Grayscale, they're just basically a stock you can trade in the United States on over-the-counter stocks. Over-the-counter stocks is not as popular as obviously like the NASDAQ, S&P, the larger exchanges that trade with brokerages like Robinhood, E-Trade, the main ones that people use on phones and devices, that kind of thing. But the New York Stock Exchange, they all trade on those platforms pretty easily. But over the counter, I have it through Fidelity. You have to be like sign up for it separately, or you did when I did it. It's pretty easy to do. Lets you invest in like penny stocks over the counter, riskier investments, but also that's where these Grayscale trusts are currently traded. So if you don't know, that's kind of just a little history on that. And basically, we just got to just see how this turns out. I mean, I don't see anything that I'm reading that makes this ETF, any different than the ones that already exist. But again, I haven't done a lot of research on it, so there might be some significant differences, and that's pretty much the main part of me creating this video, is because I'm wanting to get the information from my viewers. And you know, you guys, girls, if you guys research this any more than me, please let me know. Let me know if there is anything, you know, transpiring from this Grayscale appeal won by Grayscale against, you know, the court system or whatnot. So if it does have anything to do with the underlying asset price any differently than like the BITO, you know, ProShares ETF, which is the largest traded ETF for crypto or Bitcoin now. So I mean, what is the difference? You know, what is the fundamental difference on, you know, why this massive thing is being kind of put in the spotlight, but at the same time the prices are just fizzling, and we're getting, you know, the forked versions of Bitcoin, BTC, you know, whatever version you want, basically, other than BTC, go up even more. And that might be because, you know, these coins went up and then they fell down, and BSV kind of went down, never really recovered. Bitcoin Cash went up 200%, 300%, and then went down or whatever, down. So, you know, maybe these are just recovery prices on the exchanges kind of matching up with the trading pairs, and that's kind of where we're just kind of leveling out right now in this whole narrative push. But I don't see a lot of buying. You know, I don't see really the need why anybody should rush into crypto right now. I mean, you should already be rushed into crypto, but you know what I mean? Like, there's no reason based on this ETF that I am led to believe, you know, and drop it in the comments section if it's any different than the BITO, ProShares. And, you know, my knowledge of this stuff is incredibly small on this ETF following, guys. I try to stay away from this stuff as much as I can, following the news and whatnot. So, you know, I can only follow so much, and you know, the ETF thing just doesn't excite me. It's like, you know, will it allow, you know, different type exposure? Will it allow increased volatility? You know, I hope it goes into the alt market. I mean, that's really what I would hope. I'd like to see BTC people get wrecked, honestly. I'd like to see them get wrecked. And the reason is, guys, is because the new age BTC, Bitcoin maxis that are in BTC, if they are as heavily invested in Bitcoin, BTC, and the idea of what Bitcoin is, by absolute dull stupidity, they should have done enough research if they're going to go like all in and like remortgage your house and all these crazy stories you hear about people going into cryptocurrency for the first time in these euphoric periods. It would seem that they would have at least done enough research to figure out what, you know, a cryptocurrency fork is, and the fact that, you know, just in case, as a safety precaution, you know, even though Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, even though these cryptocurrencies have plummeted in prices in retrospect in comparison to BTC Bitcoin, it seems like if you were that heavily invested in Bitcoin, BTC, that you would have gone back and researched enough to know that you should hold, you know, all forks. You should hold Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Gold. And that is simply because, for one, the prices are dog shit. I mean, the prices are comparatively to how BTC has done. So, you know, maybe these same people that are entering the space that are so obsessed with Bitcoin and Bitcoin's the only way, and, you know, they get sucked into these huge marketing campaigns by Lightning Network, you know, that's not going to stop. But it seems like, as a mere safety precaution, before you go investing all your money, this new set of people that we got in seems like they would invest or research far enough back. Like I mean, I got in 2017, and I researched all the way back to like 2013, 2012, pretty in depth. I mean, I didn't go back a lot farther because it seemed like it got harder to find stuff. So my point is, this being the case of me being heavily invested in cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, or the whole Bitcoin thing, it would make sense to me that somebody would do this, right? Like, it would make sense they would go back and learn about this and say, hey, well, you know, you got these people from Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV and, you know, not really Bitcoin Gold, but you got these people kind of barking on the sidelines, you know, at the mainstream crypto push narrative for cryptocurrency adoption, or, you know, DeFi, or whatever label they want to put on it. And it would seem that they would just say, hey, you know, these prices are, you know, they keep barking on the sidelines. These prices are so low. I'm just gonna, you know, if I buy 3 Bitcoins, I'm at least gonna have 3 Bitcoin Cash and 3 Bitcoin SV and 3 Bitcoin Gold, 3 Bitcoin Diamond. I mean, there's different forks, guys, but to what degree, you know, I don't think that somebody can just easily just say, oh, well, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV is a scam, and you know, BTC Bitcoin is the real Bitcoin, it's the only one, because we've seen recent decoupling price movements. I mean, before we got the Bitcoin Cash rise from, what was it, 100 to 330 or 360 or whatever, 360 US dollars. Then we got, but before we had that, we had the Bitcoin SV pump that went from like the crash of $17 back up to, I don't know, was it 50 or 30 bucks, whatever it was. It's, you know, is a significantly decoupled. And we were following this, guys, on the channel back when we were, you know, following this stuff. We were following this stuff on this channel. So, you know, it seems like somebody would at least take the time to research it. And it's big enough now where it wasn't just like it got forked and then it died. You know, it was like it got forked, then Bitcoin Cash got forked. You know, Bitcoin Gold was still going on. Bitcoin Diamond was technically they were all still there. So it's like, to what degree are people going to research it? Or what degree are people going to, you know, be into this stuff? So wrap it up on this episode where we covered the impact of the Bitcoin ETF. Is it really necessary? Is the push for a narrative on the Bitcoin ETF already something that already exists in the form of BITO, ProShares, stock, BITO is the ticker, and Grayscale, and you know how much influence these people really have, and that kind of thing. So we'll catch you guys in the next episode.